What's up, mortals? It's Dante from the anime Underworld, and we're back to doing chapter releases yet again. We're back with chapter 237 of Four Nights of the Apocalypse, titled Unexpected Meeting. We got a very wholesome and very cute cover page of Gawain in her normal form being hugged by her beloved dad Escanor in his own true form. And this is something that Gawain is really longing for, to be truly embraced by her own father. How are father and daughter going to interact in this chapter? Well, let's get into it. We begin chapter 237 with the Four Knights of the Apocalypse coming face to face with a revived Lion, Son of Pride, who is so heavy with muscle mass he is leaving steps in the ground as if he's walking on the beach. Percival and Gawain have no idea who this guy is and where did he even come from, but Lancelot and Tristan know exactly who this guy is, as Tristan tells them he looks just like the man from the memories Gothard showed them as kids. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that Gothard did that. Tristan identifies their new enemy as Escanor, the Lion, Son of Pride, heralded as the most powerful of the 7 deadly sins.
You're goddamn right.
The supposedly revived Escanor tells the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, just completely aura farming here, "Show me the blood of the boar son of gluttony, and I will grant you the truth. Anyone impotent enough to come here while unqualified will face a hopeless death. Dudes, take my advice, run." Gawain is surprised to see that that is what her dad really looks like. Not the dinosaur skeleton, but this giant, beastly, hulking man. However, her dreams are crushed when Lancelot tells her that no, the man died 18 years ago. Yeah, thanks for reminding us about that, Lancelot. It's likely a hollow figure crafted by Camelot's force to guard this place. So the knights prepare themselves for one heck of a fight. Tristan draws his blade, saying, "Well, it's a well-made fake to be sure, but I'm not about to lose to an illusion." And he's joined by Percival, drawing his own weapon, announcing, "Okay, let's beat this guy and get over to Merlin ASAP." So the first 2 victims, Knights of the Apocalypse, charge ahead against the Lion, Son of Pride, swords drawn in order to clash against Divine Axe Rita.
Well, good luck with that.
Gawain tries to call out for her comrades, but it's very too late. The fake Escanor attacks with his own version of Divine Axe Rita and clashes against the Knight of Death, and well, this might be a fake, but the force was strong enough to send the Knight of Death flying into a nearby wall. Lion Sin 1 and Knight of Death 0. The Knight of War is shocked to see his comrade was sent flying into the wall, and now it's Tristan's turn to maybe take a crack at it. With his blades drawn, the dragon-handled sword, and his new sword that we have not gotten any introduction to, Tristan unleashes a volley of swipes and slashes in hopes of injuring the Lion, Son of Pride, trying to make this attack count where Percival failed. And that didn't work, because of course it didn't work. The best that Tristan could do with both of his swords was just rip up part of Escanor's outfit. There is not a single scratch, cut, or mark on that arm. But you know where a mark is going to be left on? Tristan, because much like the Knight of Death, Escanor uses his brute force to plunge a Knight of Prophecy not into a wall, but into the ground like a railroad spike. Lion Sin 2, Knight of Prophecy 0. Gawain is understandably shocked and horrified that, fake or not, her father is this powerful. So now it's up to Lancelot, the strongest Knight of Prophecy, to face off against the strongest Sin. Escanor launches a barrage of attacks, aiming at the Knight of War, but Lancelot is just as fast as Bond, able to dodge Escanor's powerful attacks with relative ease, and closes the distance between him and Escanor. His hand so close to the Lion Sin's washboard abs. Before he says, "Would have been nice to take on the real one," Lancelot's hand clenches into a fist, then tries to impale the lion's sin of pride with as much of his own strength as he can, doing his best to punch a hole straight through this fake Escanor. I mean, it worked on the other guy, and they're relatively the same build, and this is a fake, so maybe it worked.
Are you sure?
Except no, it didn't work. This fake Escanor just shrugged it off like it was nothing. And his washboard abs just repel Lancelot's attack like it's freaking full counter, sending the Knight of War backwards and erupting the area with such sheer magnitude and force that rubble starts flying in the air. Lancelot is not pleased. He shakes his wrist and says, man, bastard really messed up my wrist. Dude, you had better be glad that it was just your wrist and not your entire freaking arm. With the rubble flying in the air, so too is the dragon handle, and this gives Lancelot an idea as he grabs the sacred sword, then aims at the fake Escanor for his strongest attack. The strongest of the four knights attacks the strongest sin with Shining Road, his signature move, as the power attempts to completely obliterate and nuke this fake Escanor with all the magical force and power that the God of War can channel. Surely, this time, it worked, right?
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Lancelot cannot catch a freaking break. This fake Escanor withstood Lancelot's strongest attack and then retaliates with Cruel Sun, the strongest attack of the Lion's Sin of Pride. Man, even Lancelot is having trouble against fake Escanor. This has got to be a massive blow to his ego. But before the God of War can be turned into charcoal, Gawain teleports right in front of Lancelot before Escanor's very eyes, and counters Cruel Sun with her own sunshine spell, Passionate Sun. And when the two fireballs finally collided, yeah, it created a massive explosion of fire and heat with such a powerful shockwave, erupting all over the room. If Tristan and Percival weren't in a shonen series and, not normal people, I think these two would have ended up as very crispy skeletons. Despite such a powerful attack, the fake Lion's Sin of Pride is not amused, while the Knight of Famine tells him, "Don't you dare claim not to know me." Then loudly proclaims herself before someone who she thinks is her real father. In her buff form, an aura of fire surrounding her entire body, proclaiming, "It's me, Gawain, your darling Gawain, the one you love so much." Fire surrounds the two masters of the sun as daughter tells father, "Take us to mom right now, or don't tell me. You're going to punch out your beloved daughter? Can you even? I bet you can't."
Falcon punch!
Wow, look at that. He can punch his own daughter. Punch her straight in the goddamn face. Gawain's showboating landed on deaf ears, and the result was a roundhouse punch to the face. Lancelot has to remind us again that this is not the real Escanor, but this doesn't matter much to Gawain, who's just in shock that Escanor, her dad, just hit her in the face. Her face red after the impact, blood dripping from her nose, is just in total shock that the man who claims to be her father punched her right in the face.
Bang! Zoom! Straight to the moon.
Oh, but it gets so much worse, Gawain. Not only did your supposed dad punch you in the face, but he delivered a powerful roundhouse kick to your face to boot.
Roadhouse.
Father sends daughter flying into a nearby wall, leaving the Knight of Famine in shock that not only did he punch her, but kick her too. And from Tristan and Percival's point of view, this isn't going to end well. It's then that we see the Knight of Famine just bawling her eyes out, tears and blood just covering her face, crying like a toddler, throwing a tantrum with her arms flailing around, crying, "Dad, Dad hit me, he kicked me, he never really loved me at all." And I think it's at this moment that Lancelot just gives up in trying to convince Gawain that this is not her real dad. Yeah, that's understandable. Gawain continues to throw her tantrum at a very unimpressed Fake as she just punches him in the chest over and over again with little to no avail and keeps throwing her tantrum, crying, "I hate you, Dad. I hate you. Stupid, muscle-bound, mustache freak. Hey, how dare you insult the mustache?" Poor Gawain. She's the only one of the 4 knights who never got abused by her loved one.
What?
Oh my god, what am I saying? She's actually one of the lucky ones. Sorry guys, that joke got really dark. I could have written it out, but I chose not to. This battle between the Masters of the Sun got really uncomfortable. Apparently this is the first time in a while that Gawain has thrown a tantrum. Gawain is continuing to hit the unoppressed fake Escanor with blood covering her fist. Then finally decides to stop her tantrum, holding her arm and examines the blood on her fist, telling her impudent. Yep, he told Gawain that it was impotent, and then, poof, in a puff of smoke, he's gone, leaving Gawain the victor with her own blood covering her own hand. The 4 Knights of the Apocalypse try to make sense of what the heck just happened. Lancelot is shocked that he's gone, but he did ask Gawain to show him her blood, which was actually a literal command. I thought that was some sort of metaphor thing. The Knight of Plague comments that he surely was strong for an illusion though, which leaves Percival, who is in immense pain, to say, maybe more than the real thing. The group of 4 then soon becomes 5, with Sacred Treasure Aldrin floating in, proclaiming that that was no mere illusion. Merlin's voice proclaims through her sacred treasure, one trade of sacred treasure, Morning Star Olden, is known as analysis. Okay, what can this sacred treasure not do? A hand then materializes under Aldrin, with the voice continuing to explain, I crafted that with the power of Camelot, based on the analyzed physical abilities of Escanor himself. He is the most powerful guard in the world. I mean, she's not wrong. More of the body continues to materialize as she continues to explain. Of course, the body, much like the magic and the sacred treasures, was an artificial creation. None of that could ever hold a candle to the real Escanor. Man, this is a massive blow to Lancelot's ego. He lost to a weaker, fake version of Escanor. Merlin finally reveals herself before the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse and greets them. Forgive my rough welcome, Knights of Prophecy. It's all for the sake of protecting my secrets. And Gawain, with tears in her eyes and blood covering her face, looks upon her real mother. We end chapter 237 with the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse coming face to face with the real boar sin of gluttony of the 7 deadly sins, Merlin. The 4 Knights have passed her test and now she is ready to reveal the truth about everything. So this chapter established a few things for us as readers. Number 1, Gawain is probably gonna like nighttime Escanor rather than Big Daddy Sunshine. I highly doubt she's gonna like her dad in daytime form and would rather he stay in his weak yet true form. Number 2, as of this recording, because I don't know if you're watching this from the far future, Nakaba has confirmed that Lancelot, the God of War, is not as powerful as Escanor. So suck it, chuds. And number 3, this chapter has reminded us that the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse are in desperate fucking need of a useful upgrade. So Merlin, and by extension Nakaba, please give these kids a 7 deadly sins, no, a chaos level upgrade. They need it, and they needed it years ago. Now that Merlin has revealed herself, it's only going to be a matter of time before the Usurper of Chaos returns from licking his wounds and finds not only her, but the true King Arthur. What do you think is going to happen in chapter 238? What will Merlin reveal to the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse? When will they get a power-up? We'll have to see in the next chapter. If you love 7 Deadly Sins and 4 Knights of the Apocalypse material, hit that like button, hype this video up. Comment down below what you thought about this chapter and this video. I'm doing my best to entertain you all, but hey, subscribe for more content coming your way very soon. This has been Dante from the anime Underworld, and I'll see you mortals later.